Hey, it's Dr. Schmidt. So I'm going to walk you through a way to find a protocol for your cancer or your loved one's cancer. It's really easy to do. And it's based off this book, How to Starve Cancer by Jane McClelland. I did a prostate cancer protocol, and it's all published research on Pubmed, and I've given it to a number of people. And the point is, it's not me saying this, like how to starve cancer. It's PubMed. It's all this research. There are thousands and thousands of articles on PubMed about how to starve cancer. And if you ask that question, you get good answers. If you ask the question, how do you kill cancer, you don't get very good answers. So you got to go with that starve type of question instead of kill. So to find PubMed, just go in your search bar and type in PubMed. And the first thing that comes up is this website right here. It's www.ncbi.nlm, National Library of Medicine.nih, National Institute of Health.gov/PubMed. So here's that search bar right here at the top for PubMed. Now I'm going to show you my Word document. And at the very top of this, I have therapies. And these all come from this book, How to Starve Cancer. And then I have a list of other therapies right here from another book by Ben Williams, PhD. And the name of his book is Surviving Terminal Cancer, Clinical Trials, Drug Cocktails, and Other Treatments Your Oncologist Won't Tell You About. So he also had cancer, and he did the same sort of searching online and found really good answers, and he wrote his book. So here we have two books. Now the How to Starve Cancer book has all these therapies right here. And here's Metformin. That's a diabetes drug. So the medications here could be off-label, meaning this drug was made for diabetes, but it can be used for cancer. Or it could be off-patent, meaning the drug developer ran out of its patent, like 7 years after development and usage. They made their money from it, and now it's off-patent, and the price drops. So let's just pick one. Here's Doxycycline. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to switch over to PubMed, and you just type in the name of the therapy, and then you click the word cancer. Let's say you have thyroid cancer, and you want to get as specific as you can because you want to cater to what you need. So Doxycycline, thyroid cancer, and just start reading through the titles. And it says Notch 3 as a novel therapeutic target in metastatic medullary thyroid cancer. Now I'm looking for the actual doxycycline word in here. And I'm doing this live. I haven't done this yet. Here we go. Black thyroid resulting from... Nope, that's not it. So no. Okay, here's creation and characterization of doxycycline-inducible mouse model of thyroid targeted. Nope, that's not it either. So there's no research that shows that doxycycline gets rid of or helps starve thyroid cancer. So when we go back to the Word document, we're just going to go right to the next one. There's another medication, Niclosamide, and just go down the list like this. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to type in this word, Niclosamide, thyroid cancer, and we'll see what comes up. Here's one article. Niclosamide induces apoptosis, which means cell death, through mitochondrial intrinsic pathway and inhibits migration and invasion in human thyroid cancer in vitro. What that means is niclosamide kills thyroid cancer. So I'm going to grab this at the top in the website address bar. I'm going to go back to my document. I'm going to scroll down to the thyroid cancer, and here we have, I'll type in doxycycline, and then this link. So boom, and then so your cursor's at the end of this link. You hit return, and now you've activated the link. And so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different 3 medications, and berberine is an herb. And so we're starting our list of therapies that could potentially help you if you have thyroid cancer. So let's go to berberine. Let's just click on the link, open the link, and this is what your medical doctor is going to do when you hand him or her this list or email it to him or her, and they just click, 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 and see all the links, and they'll say, oh, look, berberine, effects and mechanisms of berberine on proliferation of papillary thyroid cancer. And then the conclusion at the bottom of this, berberine dose-dependently inhibited the proliferation of high glucose-induced K1 cells as cancer. The effect was associated with the suppression of whatever signaling activation. The point is it helped with cancer. Okay, a lot of technical, medical, scientific words in there. Loratidine. And we'll search that and see what this says. For thyroid cancer. Oh, nothing at all. Okay, so next one. 2-deoxyglucose. That's another medication for diabetes and thyroid cancer. Nope, it doesn't have that medication listed anywhere, so that's another one that we can't list. I'm going to switch over to 3-bromopyruvate, which got a lot of attention in a really cool book called Tripping Over the Truth. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. That's a completely different subject. So that's not one either. So thyroid cancer is a little bit more selective for its therapies compared to breast cancer or even prostate cancer. So here's this medication, Dipyridamole, and it does not, there's no correlation. Let's just do Dipyridamole and cancer, not specifically thyroid cancer, but any kind of cancer. And it says right here, Dipyridamole prevents triple negative breast cancer progression. So we know that that medication is good for a form of breast cancer, a very nasty form, but it does not help with thyroid cancer. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Mebendazole. So, and I'm going to stick with thyroid cancer, and we'll see what happens. No documents whatsoever. Now we're going to go into the supplements. Here's ursolic acid. And we'll see if that shows up for thyroid cancer. Here we go. Ursolic acid induces apoptosis in medullary thyroid carcinoma cells. So boom. Apoptosis is cell death. Your ursolic acid kills thyroid cells. Thyroid cancer cells. And then there's another one here. Endogenous reverse transcriptase as a mediator of ursolic acid's anti-proliferative and differentiating effects in human cancer cell lines. Okay, that's not specific for thyroid, but it still shows that ursolic acid has a potent effect against cancer. So I'm going to click on this, top research. I'm just going to grab the address and then go back to the thyroid cancer list on the document. I'm going to type in ursolic acid, and the link is there. Activate the link. Okay, good. We're making progress. Okay, so the next therapy is Egcg. That's green tea extract, also known as green tea catechins. And we've all heard green tea helps with cancer in some way. But let's get specific for this one. And like I said, you do this for your own cancer, right? Here's the Egcg epigalactocatechin gallate. Inhibits growth in epithelial to mesenchymal transition in human thyroid carcinoma cell lines. So yeah, Egcg does help. Here's another one. Mechanism of Egcg promoting apoptosis of a cell line in human breast cancer. Cool. So we have two on breast cancer, and then 2 on thyroid cancer. Here's another one. Here's a third one on thyroid cancer. Awesome. So I'm just going to grab one of them. And this is the one. So going back to the thyroid cancer, Egcg. Copy paste. I'm going to put right here green tea catechins. All right, what's underneath that? You just keep going. This whole list, you gotta test, you gotta figure out all this whole list right here. The last one is low glycemic index diet. You should also put in ketogenic diet. You should also put in vegetarian diet. Resveratrol. This is a popular one. Okay, let's see what happens when I check that plus thyroid cancer. And we'll see what happens. Resveratrol as an anti-cancer agent, a review. Now that's fancy. That's awesome. Because it's going to be a lot of different cancers. And it's going to have the history and says owing to antimicrobial, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory activity. Talks about grapes. Okay, let's get back to the specific thyroid one. Resveratrol suppresses the growth and enhances retinoic acid sensitivity of anaplastic thyroid cancer cells. So that sounds good. Okay, good. I'm just going to grab this one. I could have grabbed others. And good. Next one, curcumin. You've heard of turmeric. Will curcumin get rid of cancer in the thyroid? Will it get rid of cancer anywhere else? Okay, effects of different extracts of curcumin on papillary thyroid cancer cell line. Good. Curcumin induces endoplasmic reticulum stress-associated apoptosis in human papillary thyroid carcinoma. That's awesome. There's the word curcumin and apoptosis and thyroid cancer. Here's another one for breast. Here's another one for another thyroid cancer one. So I'm just going to grab this one. Why do I only grab one? I'll show you here in a second. So let's go back to my thyroid list and type in curcumin. So now if I go back to, let's go back to resveratrol. I just picked one study. I'm going to click on it, open the link. It opens up in Pubmed. And then on the right, it says similar articles. Correlation of reactive oxygen species levels with resveratrol. Resveratrol induces differentiation markers expression in anaplastic cancer. So there's going to be other research studies about resveratrol and cancers on the right side. Now, this is not social media. These people are not biased. This is PubMed. This is scientists. They don't care about hurting your feelings. If you think resveratrol does not affect cancer, and that's your opinion, you're going to stick by it, they don't care. They're going to tell you that right here it does. So facts matter more than feelings. So thank God that PubMed is not a social media platform, or else we wouldn't get any truth anywhere. So let me just make a few comments here. Now, I've had many people go into ketosis, and I've had 11 people where their cancer reversed because of the diet. Now, some of them were under oncology treatment, but they did better than anybody else with the same cancer. I've had oncologists tell my patients, you're doing better than anybody I've ever seen in my whole career. And I had one guy with brain cancer, and they went through the initial radiation treatments. And then they had chemotherapy all lined up afterwards. And the mom said about her son, what would happen if there was no more cancer left in the brain after the radiation? And the oncologist said, well, that's never happened. And so the kid was in ketosis. They did the radiation. Then they did another scan. And they actually just found a little tiny bit. It was almost all gone. But yet they still scheduled him for full chemotherapy. Because they don't understand that, yeah, there's actually people who do really well with ketosis and their cancer shrinks. I just had somebody who's, she has breast cancer metastasized to her pelvis and then her left eye. Her left eye was shut with tumors. She's been in ketosis now, very deeply, for about 2 months, and now her eye is open. The tumors are going away significantly. The tumors in her pelvis are smaller and softer. So she's responding to ketosis. This is awesome. And so that's the natural diet. When you're in ketosis, it's catabolic to pathological tissue. It breaks down unwanted tissue. That's just how it is, whether you like it or not. So I said on Twitter once, in a Twitter argument with a guy who's a total jerk, I said I've had 11 people reverse their cancer with ketosis. Maybe I should have said it a little differently. Maybe I should have said I had 11 people who were in ketosis, and just by coincidence, their cancer went away. And like I said, some of them were under oncological care, but they did better than anybody else with the same cancers because they're in ketosis. But that's the problem. You can't link ketosis with the reversal of cancer. That's illegal. All right? So if you want to say it correctly, you say just by coincidence, they happen to be in ketosis at the same time their cancer went away. All right? That's just a technical legal point. But I said this on Twitter, and this woman comes in, and her Twitter handle is @cancer. And guess what? She is cancer because she brought in the FTC and the Michigan State Attorney General and the Michigan Licensing and Regulatory Agency, and she's claiming that I'm advertising that I cure cancer and I have a therapy for cancer. And that was in February of 2019, and I was completely freaking out. And I said, look, I just put people on a diet. I don't care what their diagnosis is. I can't even run a scan. I don't have the license to order an MRI or a CT scan. So how can I possibly, claim to diagnose and treat and cure cancer when I can't even do the first step? I just feed people with really good food regardless of their disease. So that was February, and then in June, I get a phone call from the Michigan Licensing and Regulatory Agency, and they're investigating my license as a chiropractor. And the investigator said, look, I understand you're talking about healthcare online, and there's total jerks out there. They're trying to squash you. They squash a lot of people. They just go around with a hammer, and they say nasty things, and they make a very hostile environment to very good people. So I had to give her all my documents in the office where my patients sign a waiver saying that they understand I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or treat disease. We do nutrition programs with dietary recommendations and supplements. And you understand that what it is. And if you don't agree with that, then you're not a patient. So I sent her that. And then I sent her a video I did on YouTube about how to starve prostate cancer cells. I sent that to her. The investigator, this could be the end of my career with my license. I sent her a video on YouTube that I did 6 years ago, my most viral video on how to unblock cholesterol plaqued arteries. You could say, well, Schmidt's treating heart disease. But in my disclaimer, I say, I am not a medical doctor. I'm not in urgent care. I'm not a cardiologist. I'm not in an emergency room. Do not call me and ask me if you should skip your quadruple bypass heart surgery. I will not answer that question. If you need surgery, get the surgery. The problem is you were doing stupid things for decades before that put you in that position in the first place. I'm going to help you recover from the surgery and help get your heart back in health, and it's going to take years. So let the MD save your life with the surgery. So that relieves me of liability. Anyways, 3 weeks later, I'm sweating, I'm sweating it out, wondering what's going to happen with my license. I get a letter in the mail from the Michigan Licensing and Regulatory Agency saying that I didn't say anything wrong and the case is closed. Done. Boom. So everything I say is based on physiology and nutrition, biochemistry, anatomy, how the body works. When you do bad things to the body, what happens on the inside, and how do you reverse that physiology back to normal? That's how I speak. I don't speak in terms of disease or collecting symptoms together and then labeling them as a disease. Chasing symptoms is stupid. That's the problem with modern healthcare. Everybody's chasing symptoms. And why is that? Because you, as a patient, want your symptom to go away. So you go to the doctor, you say, I'm coughing and I have congestion, make it go away. The doctor is going to give you an antibiotic and an inhaler. They're not going to say, what junk food are you eating? That's not their job. Okay, so that's why I'm putting this video out now about starving thyroid cancer cells. Now, don't call me up and say, hey, help me reverse my cancer. I'm not going to even go there. You have to find an oncologist who will be willing to click on these links and look at their research as to what drugs kill cancer cells. Now, in oncology, those doctors get a kickback on the drugs that they prescribe, except if it's metformin or doxycycline. If they prescribe an off-label or off-patent drug, they're not going to get their kickback. They want those super expensive drugs. Drugs now cost, $30,000 a month. And that all started with Obamacare and the, heavy-duty socialized medicine that forced you into a system that you may or may not want to be in. And then the pharmaceutical manufacturers can jack up their price tremendously from $1,000 a month to $30,000 a month. That's socialized medicine for you. So I'm putting this out here so that you know how you can search for your cancer. You can get this book, How to Starve Cancer. Read through it. It's a good book. She keeps winning all kinds of awards. And then you got to find a doctor that will prescribe for you whatever medication that you need. And then if you want to buy ursolic acid or some of these other ones from me, a lot of these you can buy from me without having to be a patient. Just go on my online store. I'll put the link below. Or you can find them on Amazon. Or don't take anything at all. Up to you. It's a free market. You can choose whatever you want. If it's too expensive, buy cheaper stuff. So, and in my opinion, my job has been my whole career to find the best supplements. So I will put my foot down and say I have the best Berberine. It's called Berberine Active. I have the best curcumin. It's called Turmeric Forte. And I can only sell those to patients, those two in particular. But some of these other ones I can sell to anybody. But again, there's Amazon too. So if you want to be a patient, give us a call, email us. I'll put that at the end of this video and below. And we'll help you work through your health puzzle as best we can. And you can see here too, there's other medications like to block metastasis and to even kill cancer cells. Non-aspirin NSAIDs can kill cancer cells. We have a breast cancer protocol. This is all from this book. And then I put together a skin cancer protocol and oral cancer, prostate cancer, and working on thyroid right now. So I'll accumulate all these lists right here and I'll share them with you. So if you like this information, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe.